Hello, today we're going to go through a case study entitled Internet Use Violations, Threats Over the World Wide Web. What we need to first talk about is what we know about the case. Students and parents both care extremely much about their education. Some of the students in the classes within the case are potentially going to be valedictorians, go to wanting to apply for high stakes colleges and things like that, as well as the parents of those students care about education because majority of them are doctors, lawyers, financial bankers, and do care greatly about education and are probably highly educated themselves. Students and parents have complained in the past about the amount of work and the instruction in Miss Williams' class. Because of that, Miss Walker has been asked to do some things to reduce stress and improve student relations as well as her instruction. Miss Walker received a threatening email, which is the reason we're looking at this case, over the weekend, over the extended weekend, and Miss Walker is threatened by that email, and she thinks potentially that it could be a student named Randy in her class. So what do we need to know is we really need to know who is responsible for the email. That email is threatening, and it is causing Miss Williams some trouble. If there's multiple people involved with the email, why the email was sent, is Miss Walker in any real danger, and what kind of disciplinary actions need to happen to follow the website and email problem. So those are a bunch of things that we need to find out and get to the bottom of as an administrator dealing with this situation. The true problem is the email on the website was created by someone, and it is threatening to Miss Walker, and because of that, there needs to be some sort of administrative action taken. Also, I believe a problem is that the students don't like Miss Walker and have a lot of stress due to her class. So because of that, that's a little bit of a problem. And because I've, as an administrator, have had issues with this before, that is a problem that needs to be addressed, even though it has been addressed and some things haven't completely changed. So another problem is that Miss Walker hasn't really improved that class morale, and needs to do so in order to get the class into a better learning environment. So the plan of action as an administrator is to print out the emails, as well as the email as well as the website that was dedicated to those threats to Miss Walker. I would make multiple copies, as well as I would bring the email up on my computer the first day when I get back from the extended break. If that's Monday, that would be Monday. If that's Tuesday, that would be Tuesday. I would call in a students up to the office for an interview, and I would start with Randy, who Miss Walker potentially thinks it could be, and move on from there with some other students if I didn't get anywhere with that. When doing that, I would keep students separated so they didn't have time to talk or warn each other, as well as if they're sitting in the office not interviewing with me, keep them from using their cell phones and contacting people and saying, "Hey, Mr. The principal's trying to find out about the website," and then the students sort of have interconnected plans of avoiding getting caught. The second plan or second step for the plan of action would be to interview the students in Miss Walker's class. I would bring in Randy, and then if I didn't get anywhere with Randy, other students individually, and ask them if they know why they are here, and give them the opportunity to speak about that. If they do not come forward then, I would show them, or more so tell them about something that is upsetting myself and Miss Walker, and see if they know anything, and if not, and I'd show them that and ask them what they know about the website. And I really like them to sort of come out and share those things without me really having to probe them. And if they don't say anything, I can tell them, well, that's okay. I can talk to the technology department and find out who and where the email and website was developed, and I will find out. And then again, give them another chance to talk, so that if it is them and they have that little tidbit of I'm going to find out either way, maybe potentially they would start talking about what they do know if it was them. Last would be if I don't get anywhere with going through with interviews with several different students in the class, I would have the technologist find where the email came from. I explain the situation to the technologist and ask for them to find the source of the email, which is easy to do these days. When he does find the source, I would call the student in and discuss, sort of go through that same step 3 of why are you here, do you have something to tell me, allowing them to give them the opportunity to come clean. And if they don't, I would show them and say, we know it was you, discuss how that was an inappropriate action and how that makes people feel, and then I would give the acceptable punishment for the crime. Depending on school policies, if that's a breaking of use of technology, if they did this within school, it's breaking that code. So there may be other things that could have caused that. So after that, I would have the student or students responsible, depending if it's more than one, write an apology letter to Miss Walker. I would call and talk to the parents of the students involved, so they're aware of the situation as well as the punishment for that situation. I would provide professional development from Miss Walker, maybe not so right away, but the whole goal of being an administrator is to keep your school running functionally, and if a teacher's having trouble with a class of students, you want to reach out and help them and give them maybe some classes or experience that will help them not have a horrible time. Another thing that might be helpful is providing a mentor teacher for Miss Walker, so then those issues, hopefully in the school or in the classroom, will change. So several things, not only just on the student side of resolving the issue, on Miss Walker's side of resolving the issue. She did not bring this on herself, but because of the way the classroom has been run, and this isn't the first time we've heard of students disliking the class, there's always room for improvement, whether you're a good teacher or a less than desired teacher of students. So debriefing, thinking about what I was thinking, Originally, when I read this, I thought the students are playing a prank, um, and it was harmless, but reading into it, um, it really is hurtful when you have an email or something sent to someone, um, and it hurts the feelings of the teacher. So you want to understand that and deal with it accordingly. I also was thinking I need to get to the bottom of this and help repair the relationship that Miss Walker has with her class, so further things don't happen. I feel bad for Miss Walker because it's never a good feeling to feel threatened, and I'm pretty disappointed that the students did something like this. Um, it's it's always a letdown when you expect the best out of someone and then something like this happens. So it's sort of disappointing from an administrator's standpoint to see um, this kind of behavior. It is also something that you understand that when students get frustrated, this is maybe something they turn to express that dislike or stress that stress that they feel. So you sort of do feel from both sides of the story that it is really not a good feeling to be threatened, but at the same time, it's really not a good feeling to be stressed out about a class that you're taking. I value rigorous standards that Miss Walker provides. I'm one of the administrator of one of the highest level high schools in the state. So I really do appreciate that, and the reason that she was hired because she had a master's degree um, and good references. I also value moral of students, and a big life lesson can be learned by making a mistake. So I hope that that this moral that the student's going to learn that made this will stick with them. And I also value respect by students for teachers. I also think that what is right needs to happen. So that is two-part in my solving process. Still unsolved is the stress level with the students, the student-teacher morale, and Miss Walker's classroom instruction. I think by providing the part of the action plan that I talked about was providing a mentor teacher or a professional development class for Miss Walker to take. That's completely a great idea for her to do that, and that will improve hopefully all three of those things. Demonstrating a sense of integrity and ethics behavior. I think that I was fair to both the teacher and the students. I allowed the students to do the right thing first by coming clean before actually going to the technologist if they did, and then after the fact when I found out who it was, writing an apology letter to Miss Williams. I provided the students' ability to learn from the incident, so talked to them about what they did, why it was wrong, and then I also communicated with the parents and the students. Treating people fairly and equitably. I was listening to the teacher. I calmed the teacher down on the phone, and I took care of the problem in a timely fashion the next day, so it wasn't hanging over her head. I allowed the student to come clean if they would do so before actually pursuing, trying to crack into who did what. And I gave the correct and fair punishment as outlined by the policies. Demonstrating a personal and professional ethics. I think I listened to all parties involved, teacher and students alike, and then I did what was right and was fair for both parties involved. And that's how I would deal with this case study.